on actual documented reports where American fighter pilots claim to have witnessed mysterious blue lights known as Foo Fighters.
Lights! Blue ones! Easy here, we got them too.
This sequence would use computer technology to augment actual footage shot of the B-17 on set in Vancouver.
The B-17 sequence in episode 1 is pretty awesome. The intention was to do what Stephen did with Private Ryan on the Normandy beaches. The greatest compliment we can get from the viewing audience is that when they see this B-17 sequence, they feel like they're watching a documentary film that was actually shot in 1944. This is Ellen, and he created the environment for the B-17 sequence. What Alan did was he found a photograph from 1944 of Germany. It was actually a spy photo. This is an actual spy photo from 1944. Colorized it, and then he expanded the size of this photograph, and then stitched it together with the sky dome. And basically we have a completely synthetic environment made out of real photographs that when the camera's moving and we're flying through this environment will look absolutely realistic. And here's the final composite, the final shot.
When it came to integrating the visual effects, one of the biggest issues facing Jim Lima didn't involve digital technology. It involved real actors.
You know, it is very challenging when you do a show that has a fair amount of visual effects. There's a lot of acting that you have to do without the actual ship there or the actual alien there. The actors were amazing about this, sort of being able to adapt and act in situations that they had to use their imagination and really had to put themselves in places that they really weren't in.
The wonderful thing, Jim Lima, who's the special effects coordinator on this, he was there the day I was shooting the scene where I see the spaceship for the first time. So fortunately, he pulled out a book and showed me drawings of what was there, the dimensions. You have the height and width of this huge spaceship. And that's a huge benefit to an actor because you see that and you can kind of put that in your mind's eye.
And again, the way it's crashing to the ground is it's like a meteor. So it's made out of some sort of unbelievable unobtainium, sort of incredible metal that we can't comprehend. And instead of disintegrating at impact, it literally has embedded itself.
Toby, I can't wait to see what I just saw.
I know, I know.
Jim Lima was on set every day visual effects scenes were shot, helping the actors to envision what was not yet there. Meanwhile, a team of designers and animators were already hard at work making the imaginary a reality.
We'd appreciate your not speaking to anyone about this. It's a matter of national security.
It's from outer space, isn't it?
Designing the UFOs would become a collaboration between Jim Lima and production designer Chris Gorak, the same expert who helped Spielberg create the futuristic world of Minority Report.
On a series like this, the production designer is responsible for taking the written word of the script and through the director's ideas and input, developing that into the scenery and settings that where the story takes place. Stephen always goes back to the mythology and the legend and the lore of UFOs and alien abductions and the stories told.
Well, the production designer, Chris Gorak, did a brilliant job of creating and designing the inside of the UFO and the exterior of the UFO. And simply what we've done is we've taken his design and animated it. We've put it into motion and treated it as a character. The flying saucer of the UFO is like the character. It's actually saying something.
You'll never get this craft off the ground without an engine.
We can't find the engine.
In deciding how to portray the alien spacecraft, the team decided that science fiction should be guided by science.
For the interior UFO and the exterior, we were guided by Stephen to do something mechanical where the audience could relate to it as a constructed craft where it wasn't flown by magic, but maybe there was some kind of technology that we could relate to.
The ships, we wanted to stay close to the lore. You know, we weren't going to come up with a ship that looked different than what people had reported seeing in the sky, but he created details in them that really, I think, made them unique and special and sort of took them to the next level.
But perhaps the greatest labor of love for the effects team was giving birth to the aliens, otherwise known as Greys. Everyone knew that you can't tell a great story about alien abduction without great aliens.
People have seen in films and in television shows the aliens before, and my goal is on this show is to revolutionize not only the way they look, but the way they move, and to really show them in a way that's never been shown before.
Redefining the way aliens look was difficult enough. Even more challenging, however, was balancing the need to be innovative and different with the need to stay familiar. The designers were very aware sci-fi fans would be watching closely, so they had to remain faithful to the most popular accounts of alien sightings.
The gray with a large head, the skinny body, the hugely almond-shaped eyes, is the most common form of alien in all reports, whether it's in the National Enquirer or whatever else, wherever else you would look.
We are going based on the accounts, on the mythology, on the lore, and on the interviews of actual people who've been abducted.
Did you like your abductions?
Like them?
Yeah. As in, look forward to them, enjoy them. For me, it was always that. I used to get this buzz, this energy thing. It felt great.
But what makes the aliens in Taken so unique and so real is that they were designed from the inside out.
Our philosophy from day one has always been, these are real beings, and they have real attributes. They breathe, they have muscles, they have bones.
We feel that we can give, each alien a particular uniqueness in terms of things like blemishes and expressions and like that. And one of the goals is to make them all just slightly different from each other, the way the humans are.
What I proposed in the eyes was that we'd actually see a pupil, and we'd actually see the color of the eye. So that not only would we see the alien looking around and this pupil contracting and expanding, but you would also see thought.
However, if you're expecting to see the same old aliens you've seen before, you're in for a big surprise. Steven Spielberg and DreamWorks are keeping a tight lid on their new generation of extraterrestrials. That means we can't even reveal what they look like in this special. But we can do the next best thing.
They're very spooky looking, very creepy.
Sort of like chihuahuas on their hind legs.
Sort of gray, large heads.
I mean, they're freaks.
And they were a lot more human than you might think.
God, those aliens. Always late. Never knew their lines.
They get to sleep late.
Well, the aliens were divas.
A lot of times, I'd reach for something off the craft food table and I'd turn them back and it's gone.
Always wanting coffee on the set.
Yeah, I'll kick them in their little green asses.
Frankly, we all have to sort of cater to them a little bit, which was irritating at first, but now we understand they are special. They are entitled. They're aliens, and it's really all about them, isn't it, at the end of the day?
Once the aliens and the countless other visual effects were seamlessly added, an entire new reality had been created. Taken was to be the ultimate tale of alien abduction, one that would explore the topic more comprehensively than any series or film before it.